phenomena that has been since worn and contaminated by sunlight and allowing unwanted light to enter the experiment. And he will translate over and install patches for that nicer experiment.
And Sunny, for you, just to repeat, you have a go to ingress the APFR, and you just want to use ingress aid only, and just maintain that body clearance to Dragon at all times.
And there you see a great view of the nicer X-ray telescope in front of NASA astronaut Nick Hague, who will install patches in those circles that have each compartment with wedges on the inside. For those patches, there's 56 of those select ones identified by the nicer experiment, and the team on the ground here is where unwanted light is entering, and that is what Hague will be identifying and patching up so it can return to its full capacity.
Sunny, it looks like your safety tether pack might be kind of trapped underneath the grapple fixture underneath you there. It's just prevent you from going up anymore. Well, we see you well clear, Dragon, so you're good to do what you need to.
A great view of astronaut Suni Williams as she continues to prepare for the removal and replacement of the planar reflector just outside of the zenith port of the Harmony module. That is the space-facing port that is currently occupied by a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft that brought Crew 9 aboard the International Space Station. That occurred back in late September, but the planar reflector is right there, just a few bits of distance away from that spacecraft, in which Suni Williams will release 3 different bolts and actually replace the actual reflective portion of it all that both the Dragon and other visiting vehicles use on approach and docking to the International Space Station. And you can see the planar reflector jutting out from that docking port. It's just off to the left edge of that screen, that silver brace with the black component right on top of it. That'll be the component that you will be working on. And again, that is to help with a multitude of communications devices for visiting vehicles to use as a reflector to gain insight on the rate of closure and distance as they approach the International Space Station.
Sunny. No rush on anything. Again, we're still looking great on time, so feel free to take a break as needed.
As astronauts Suni Williams and Nick Hague prepare for their second task of the EVA, you can see that the International Space Station is transitioning into an orbital nighttime, currently traversing across Kazakhstan. All of this happening as we approach an hour and 48 minutes into today's spacewalk.
Then for the nicer team, I think I've covered the middle third. I'll get into a new position for the bottom third.
Copy, Nick. We're ready to copy that position.
Yeah. And I'm sure if they're not seeing it, I can tell you that there is as much damage in wedge 1 as there is it'd be F5 in the 3 o'clock position. Almost all of the grids are exposed.
We copy, Nick. F5, 3 o'clock.
Put that right in the middle of your echo.
All right, Nick, once you're ready to start installing patches, we're going to add an additional patch to that location you called out.
Okay.
Right. Hi, right leg in. Get on my left.
I'm going to get in position for patches, Jeff.
Copy, Nick.
Yes, you have my hecker right?
Yeah, Sunny, your heck is good.
Great communication between NASA astronaut Nick Hague and Suni Williams on their current tasks. For Williams, you see here, she is removing and replacing and beginning the planar reflector replacement, as she is just outside the zenith or the Harmony module, which just off on the left-hand side of the screen you see the Dragon spacecraft of Crew 9,
Get my left one in.
and just before that you saw NASA astronaut Nick Hague doing a visual inspection of the NICER experiment, the X-ray telescope that has received damage over wear and tear in time, and additional patches, and upon review and visual inspection of the NICER, where additional patches and adjustments and improvements overall could be made.
All right, Sunny, just to confirm first, just wiggle around the APFR, make sure we're good and locked in place.
I'm locked in place. Yep.
Yeah, nice work. That was a hard work site to ingress, so nice job. With that, we'll position your BRT now and that crew lock bag access while maintaining clearance to Dragon, and then we'll start getting the EVA wipe with the ret out of the crew lock bag. And then, Sunny, another request to rigidize your BRT a little bit once find that good position just to make sure we're not floating close to Dragon. And Nick, we see your heck of you and installing patches.
Patch 1 is in. Field number 1.
Copy, 1. Good location.
They get another great view from the camera on the helmet of NASA astronaut Nick Hague as he begins the patching of certain pie-shaped wedges on the NICER experiment, the X-ray telescope that helps measure neutron stars, black holes, and other phenomena that have been damaged over time and allowing unwanted sunlight to enter and throw off the X-ray measurements. And you see those pie-shaped wedges throughout the experiment from his view, and those are where he will insert those patches from a caddy that he has attached to his spacesuit. And a good view of the tool he is using in inserting a patch in strategic locations throughout the X-ray telescope.
I got the wrench on the reflector. Got the palm reel and ratchet out. I've got the white for the field one. Ready to try to undo the bolt?
And Sunny, before that, we'd like you to just we'd like to get some words for visual inspect of the planar reflector. Just any words on the contamination there. And if you can get it in your HECA, we'd like that, but we can't quite see it.
I don't want to lean over too much, but it looks like it has like white powder all over it. Particularly on top of it, and as I'm looking at it, right hand side, the forward side, the left hand side, the aft side towards station is not as dirty, but the whole reflector top has this white film on it, looks like. I don't know if it's dust or it's film, I'm not touching it.
Okay, we copy that, Sunny. Thanks for those words. We just can't quite see the good HECA view. With that, you can retrieve the ratchet wrench from Kulak Tag 1.
Trying to take a picture.
Yeah, and some pictures would be great as well. I have a warning and a few cautions to read to you when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I have a warning that any additional torque may cause bolt failure, which could result in sharp edges, the broken shank, and or FOD liberation. So the 4 parts of the bolt that we talked about: spring, washer, retainer, and bolt. And then a few cautions. You want to maintain tool tether clearance to Dragon throughout the pass. Limit turn count to the specified turns. Minimize side loading on the bolt head, and then again maintain that axial force on the fastener to compress the spring during rotation. And lastly, the release failure torque of the planar reflector bolts is 29 inch-pounds, so stop driving as soon as any rise from running torque is felt.
Are we ready to try one?
Okay, Sunny, we are go for you to start to release the planar reflector bolts. You can do that any order by hand using the palm wheel only, exactly 1 turn on each bolt.
Great communication there between NASA astronaut Suni Williams and the team here inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room in Mission Control Center in Houston, Texas, as she gave the explanation and the reasoning for the removal and replacement of the planar reflector, as it is currently contaminated and reduced in reflectivity that allows for visiting vehicles to communicate with the International Space Station and to measure its rate of closure and distance.
A little bit of a turn on it.
You can see that planar reflector that section in the middle there that has a whitish color, that is what is contaminated and allows for that reflectivity to happen for the communication to be accurate and properly aligned. So those 3 bolts around the edges are what Williams will be loosening to replace that portion of the planar reflector with a new piece.
Bit of motion on the palm wheel.
Okay, copy, Sunny. You got 10 seconds till this handover, but you can try the 3rd bolt with the palm wheel as well to see if any of those bolts loosen up.
Sorry, which of the palm wheel?
Doing great on time.
See, there's a space between it and the. Front one also got a space. Space and a chill pill.
Good idea.
Just over 1 minute and 58 seconds into today's U.S. spacewalk number 91, as you see a great view of the communications team on the ground in the International Space Station Flight Control Room.
We don't have your heck of views back yet, but can you repeat your last, Sunny?
Yeah, I think I got the turn on the board one, the aft one. Pretty positive. And then the one that's in the center, I got like a half a turn. I feel like it's getting looser.
Copy, Sunny.
I continue to try to undo them.
Yeah, if you're seeing that bolt come looser, then you can continue, even if it's slow, and just trying to make small rotations there until we get to 1 turn.
Great communication there between the teams as they continue to work. Suni Williams, NASA astronaut, commander of Expedition 72 on the removal and replacement of the planar reflector. Nicole McElroy and her Vista flight team, the spacewalk flight director for today, and you heard Jessica Whitner, the spacewalk communicator, relaying the information up to Suni Williams.
And Sunny, we just want to confirm, do you have 1 turn now on all 3 bolts, or is there 1 bolt that's still causing issues?